All right, all right. What's going on, Epic fam? How are you doing? How are you doing this evening? Type in the chat if you can hear me. You can see my screen. Type a one in the chat. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Type in the chat where you're tuning in from. Welcome to Beginner Study Hall. Oh, all right, all right. Who do you got? Who do you got? We got Tulsa, Oklahoma in the house. We got Dallas, Texas. Oh, we got Bronx, New York. Okay, okay. I see y'all. I see you. Bahamas, we got Michigan, Atlanta, Georgia, Washington State, Florida, Toronto, Brooklyn, Toronto, Virginia, Houston, Texas. Welcome, welcome to Beginner Study Hall, Montana. Nice, nice, nice. We got Philly, Chicago. Make sure you get your teams on here if they are needing some extra help beginner wise. This is a beginner study hall. Won't be going over intermediate concepts in this live session. We'll be going over beginner concepts only. Intermediate concepts will be for tomorrow at 9 p.m. All right. Got Jamaica Bonamon. Ohio. Welcome, scholars. Welcome. Just give me a moment here. What do you got? What do you got? Beginner study hall. Right. All right, we're gonna get started, guys. We're going to get started now. Having an awesome day, Stephen. Appreciate you. Um, so, welcome to Beginner Study Hall. I am your instructor for today, Josh Rosario, one of the educators here at Epic. So, if you are a beginner, if you are new to Epic, welcome to the family. If this is your first session, first study hall, welcome. This is going to be a relaxed environment. We are here to learn. We are here to guide you in anything beginner related. So, if there's any questions that you have when you went through basics 1 and 2 in your Epic University, I'm here to clarify some things for you if you need it. Um, and let's get right into it. All right. So, I'm going to open up the floor. If you guys have any questions, please drop them in the Q&A box. Okay. So if you go to the media control and you'll see Q&A, make sure all your questions are in the Q&A box. And if I ask you a question to your question, just drop your response into the chat, not into the Q&A box. So hopefully we can get a little bit more organized that way, right? So let's get those questions in the Q&A box. and let's see what you guys need some help with. It can be about anything beginner related. It can be about support and resistance. It can be about, there we go, we got support and resistance. It can be about trend lines. It can be about order types. It can maybe even talk about some of the signals, how to read signals, how to take them, so on and so forth. Maybe MC4 questions that you may have. I'll put them all in the Q&A box, all of them, all the Q&A box. I'm going to um, um, give you guys a minute to type in your questions in there, and then we're gonna just go through all of them one by one. Okay. All right. Just another minute. Let's get this going. Jenny asks, what is support and resistance? Jenny, have you been through the basics 1 and 2 section of Epic University? Type your response in the chat. Anything specific that you are confused about support and resistance? How to find the right places. Okay, should definitely work on that. So support and resistance. Okay. Now, support and resistance is a really simple concept, and it mainly deals with price, how it bounces off certain price levels. So, for an example, let's say this is price right here. Well, this is price here, and that's kind of like a price area. Okay. So for support, it's going to be at the bottom of how at the bottom of price. So price is slowly going to go down here. It's going to start making its way, bounce off, come back, and do like this, right? So in order for you to identify support, it needs to have at least three bounces. All right. 3 bounces to be a valid support line. Okay. Am I talking too low? Type of 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly. I do have the have music in the background as well. All right, everybody can hear me fine. No issues. Yes, sir. Shame. Let's go. All right, I'll try to talk a little bit louder for you, Genevieve. All right. So support three bounces to make it valid. All right, just like so. 3 bounces. make it valid. Resistance is going to be the top of these bounces as well. So it's going to be this, but reversed. It's going to look like this. You're going to have price come here, bounce off about 3 times. And that will make resistance, okay? You want to think about support and resistance as a floor and a ceiling, okay? So a ceiling, you know, it's hard, it's kind of hard to get through it, right? But after a while of constant, um, after a while of constant banging to the ceiling, you'll eventually get what we call a breakout, right? And then same thing for support. You bang the floor enough times is gonna eventually break to the downside. Okay. But that's simple. 3 touches to the bottom, 3 touches to the top. This is resistance, this is support. And so I'm going to show you what it looks like on an actual chart. Okay. Recordings for study halls are going to be in Epic University. I think it's under Epic Help. If you go under Epic Help, it should be study hall section should be in there. Now, to find support and resistance, okay, let's get rid of all these. A clean chart, okay? Don't mind the colors. These are just custom colors that I put, so don't have to do this. Doesn't affect your trading at all. I just like black and gold. Okay, that's my favorite color scheme. So now support and resistance. Okay, you're going to find 3 spots where price hits the most. Okay, you can use a horizontal ray. You can use a horizontal line, whatever is best for you. So right here, you can see that this line was used about 3 times. Okay, even though we have, you know, they're not perfect lined up, but even with these kind of going up and then into it still acts as a resistance. We have a little bounce here, a little bounce here. All right, so all of these here count, right? Even the ones that kind of go up and then right back in, right? As long as it goes up and back in, it's still considered a resistance, right? In simplest terms. All right. And as you can see, if you use the horizontal line, if you scroll over, you can see that this area has also been used again, right? Up until when, right? It used 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then came and broke right out, right? This was the break right here. So now let's find an example of a support. Okay. Support is going to be at the bottom, right, where these little valleys are happening. Find this to be a support as well. Let me see, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times it's been used, and it just kept going. All right, but I'm going to show you an example of when it actually breaks. Okay, so here's one. We have a support right here. You can see it was used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 times until it just completely started falling through, right? So what does this tell us? What does support and resistance tell us? Anybody can tell me in the chat. What does support and resistance tell us? My gosh. Got 35 questions. Okay. Okay, how to sell and buy, supply and demand, buy and sell. Okay. Prices that consider reverse. Okay. Retest level. That's where pricing is around at, where price was respected. Okay. Point of market, where price struggles to break through, which direction the market is trending. Okay. Market structure. Price channel shows trends. Structure. Yes. So that's the one I always been waiting for. It shows structure. Mostly. That's the main objective, is to show structure of the market. Okay. If support is broken, that means price is most likely going in a downtrend. If resistance is broken, that means most likely the market is going in an uptrend. All right. And you can base off these breaks to either buy or sell in the market. Now, don't get me wrong, there are smaller support and resistances as you go up time frames, and go down time frames. You'll see even more support and resistance, right? But you want to find the support and resistance that's most relevant, right? The most relevant. So, for example, AUD USD right here, you can see that this was a resistance right here. I mean, support. And as it broke through, it came down. And as it broke through support, it just continues to go down, right? Breaking each floor on its way down. So this was a floor, this was a floor, this was a floor, this was a floor. This is a little bit more intermediate. I'm not gonna explain here, but excuse me. But you can see it just tumbles at each level, right? Up until it starts making a resistance level. As you can see, it starts to use this level that we marked up again, just like so. Starts using this level, respects it, and you can use your resistance to sell high, and you can use your support to buy low. Okay. Again, so support is your floor, resistance is your ceiling or roof, however you want to call it. The more times it gets hit, the more likely it can break through. If it breaks through resistance, it becomes bullish. If it breaks down support, it becomes bearish. Depending on the time frame, it can be for a short time, it can be for a long time. Really depends on your perspective on the market. All right. So hopefully, Jenny, that answered your question. If it did, let me know. We'll move on to the next one. All right. So how to identify and draw key levels. So key levels are more intermediate. So that will be covered tomorrow with Coach Max. Just go ahead and go through intermediate study hall tomorrow night at 9 p.m. and ask that question, and she'll be sure to answer you. How do you read the numbers on the right? These are just prices. These are prices. This is the prices on here is the exchange rate to. So it's for every dollar, it is 0.80 Australian dollars. Makes sense? So for every dollar, it's 80 cents. For every dollar is 80 cents of the Australian dollar. Support and resistance trend lines. So trend lines are a diagonal support and resistance. So as you can see here, same concept as support and resistance, three touches to the bottom, begins an uptrend. Um, three touches to the top begins a downtrend. Okay, three touches that connect the trend line is a valid trend line. Okay. So I'm going. There's 32 questions. I'll get your question soon if you put them in the Q&A. Stop loss and buy. What do you mean, Carly? Carly. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. What specifically about stop loss and buy are you trying to learn? How do you know how to place them? Well, you can't really place them until you know what support resistance is. You don't until you know what market structure is, because once you put them all together, then you will. That's how you kind of calculate your whether you're going to buy or sell, what stop loss you're going to use, what take profits you're going to use, so on and so forth. Valerie, I went through support and resistance lines. Jenny, hopefully, I hope that answered your question about trend lines earlier. My confusion is how to know your entry price stop. Again, um, you need to know your trading plan. So what confluences you are looking for. You need to know what the market is doing, what direction is going, so you can go with that. So you can go with that trend, right? Your entry price, your stop loss, and your take profit comes when you know the highs and lows in the market, when you know market structure, so you know where to place your TP and when you place your stop loss, and always looking left, because your support and resistance areas can be used as your take profit and your stop losses as well as your entry prices. So, me, hopefully that helps. Roberta went over stop. I already went over support and resistance. Do you prefer your trend line to be wick to wick, or body to body? Also, what time frame do you use to draw it? I like to use it wick to wick. Personally, I barely use trend lines. Most of the time, I use trend lines to draw out a flag pattern of some sort. And it doesn't matter what time frame I use it or draw it on. If I draw it on a higher time frame, I draw it on a lower time frame. What matters is, um, the rejections that I see off the trend lines and what it's telling me. So this particular is telling me it is going bullish. So most likely I want to, place buys, and I'll put my stop loss probably like I'll put my stop loss below here. So to minimize my risk. What time frame do I mark up stop support and resistance? You want to go from the higher time frame to the lower time frame. Now, what time frame you use first is going to be based off on what trading style you are in. Are you scalping? Are you swing trading? Are you intraday trading? That will determine which time frames you start off first, Alexis. So all questions in the Q&A. I'm not looking at questions in the chat. So if you place them in the chat, I'm not looking at them. I need a whole breakdown of a chart. Where do I start first and what to expect? If you get on my live sessions, or any of the educators' live sessions, they break down the chart for live trading. I'm not gonna do it on here because that's more of an intermediate concept. And I literally need a whole session to kind of break down slowly how the breakdown of a chart. So sorry about that, Khadija. I get confused with risk to reward and what we use on on a trade, 0.02, 0.03, etc. Please clarify. Okay. So risk to reward is your stop loss and your take profit, so to say. Like, what's the ratio between the two, right? So if you're risking 15 pips and you're going for 15 pips take profit, then that's the 1-to-1 ratio. Now, determining what lot size you want to use is going to be based off what your account is and what percentage you want to use. Okay. Good thing that you can, a website that you can use to kind of, excuse me, guys, I don't know what's going on. You can go to myfixbook.com and click on calculators. Go to position size calculator. Here it will generate your lot size for you. So let's say if you are on your USD, your currency is USD, your account size, let's say, is $500. You want to risk, I don't know, 2% or 5%, right? We recommend 1 to 3 if you're beginning. So we're going to do 3. Let's say you need to know your stop loss first. Okay. So let's say you want to risk 20 pips. Contract size, don't even worry about that. It's fine. You calculate it. That means your lot size is going to be a 0.07. 0.07. Right? Don't forget about the 5. That's not available on MC4. But 0.07 on a $500 account, you will be risking $15 in total. Right? So if that trade were to hit your 20 pip stop loss, you would be losing $15. Okay. So hopefully, Lady T, hopefully that kind of helps. So it's myfixbook.com/forex calculators /position -size. All right. How to identify key levels? That's intermediate. I'm not really understanding support and resistance and also key levels. I'm going to send privately to you because I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Right, just let me know. Binary trading. Can you touch on that and how it can be done with support? I don't do binary trading. There's a binary trading session, an intro to trading, tonight at 11 p.m. after this session. What last statement you're talking about? So yeah, Genevieve, if you want more binary trading stuff, next session after this one will be for binary. Zones. So zones is more intermediate. So ask that question tomorrow night for Intermediate Study Hall. Hi Josh, I am in Australia and an Asian session will be the most convenient to trade. Would it be worth for me focusing more on London session and US sessions to start? Thanks, Michael. You can use this position size calculator to calculate your lot sizes depending off your risk. So myfxbook.com right here. I'm gonna post the link in the chat for you guys. Peace. There you go. So Asian session is a pretty slow session, right? You can catch pips in Asian session. Don't get me wrong, I've done it. It's just not going to be as much as London session, New York session. So I would, if you could get on London session and US sessions, then I would highly recommend it. But if not, see what Asian session and what pairs, what currencies will help, and you catching some pips, right? I've seen AUD and NZD be the most volatile. Sometimes JPY. So I would look at those currencies for that. All right. Can you go through continuation flag polls? I always get tripped up thinking it'll go the other way. So the thing with flags is that it can go either way, right? So you kind of have to wait for the break first, Jackie. You have to wait for the break of these flags to be able to know which direction it's going to go in. But usually the trend before the flag has been formed is usually the trend that's going to go in. So if you have a bullish trend, then a flag that is forming, then most likely it's going to break to the upside, and you can take trades going to the upside. And same thing goes if the trend was bearish, was downtrending. So hopefully that made sense, Jackie. How to use proper risk management. I just went over position size calculator. Hopefully that answered your question, Jenny. How do you know where to put your stop loss and take profit? Again, it's going to be based off your trading plan. So if you don't have a trading plan yet, don't worry about where to put your stop loss and take profit. Worry about knowing where you are in the market. If you're uptrending, are you downtrending, are you consolidating, and following that trend. Your stop losses and take profits will come after you understand the whole market psychology and the market structure of it. In your opinion, what is a good starting strategy to begin trading with? You should create your own strategy based off the teachings that we teach you, based off what we teach you in Epic University. Get a couple of those things and master those confluences. So learn how to know where to put your support and resistance, know where market structure is. All right, then you want to go into what patterns you like best and what you see the best, and use all that together to start your own strategy. All right, I would like to see a trade signal put into MetaTrader 4. I'm unclear how to take a signal, so I'm sure I'm meeting a risk of 1 to 3%. So anonymous attendee, there is a tutorial on how to take the MetaTrader 4 signals in the signals chat. It's pinned to the top. So if you look at that video, I go ahead and I me personally place a trade from one of the signals and show you how to place it on MetaTrader 4. What's the difference between zones and key levels? Key levels are, for me, I like to look at it as well, to me, zones and key levels are the same thing. They may be different to other people, but for me, zones and key levels are the same thing, meaning if if an area of price was once support and then became resistance, for me, that's a zone and that's a key level. So hopefully that may answer your question. When a signal has been sent, but you want to do a buy and a sell to catch it both ways, what's the best way to do that, or is that passive? You should not do that. That's called hedging, and I've done it so many times in the past, and I always blow my account. So if you're going to use a signal, make sure you use the signal and to its capacity. Khadija, you said first. I'm not sure what you were referring to. What is entry points? Entry points are points of entry. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I wasn't joking. I wasn't trying to mock you or anything. But entries are where you get into the market, right? Where you place a trade at, right? The price that you place your trade at. So I have an entry point. If I want my entry point to be up here, then my entry point would be 77626. That would be my entry point. I hope this is a beginner question. When placing a trade for limit or stop, what do you enter for expiration? Good till cancel or GTC, S&P. So when you are in MT4, can you set your trend lines live, just learning to cut and paste? Yeah, you can place trend lines on your MT4 charts if that's what you're asking, Glenda. Clarify for me if that's not, if I'm not in the right direction in answering that. All right, is locating the right entry point an intermediate question? Yes, it is. Because in order to find the right entry point, you need to know what confluences are you going to go after, and that's an intermediate question. Dana George or Donna George, I'm sorry. Where did you say I can find your signal placement video? The signals tutorial is at the end of Basics 2 in Epic University, and if you are in the signals chat, it's pinned to the top of that signals chat. How to determine when to place entry and stop loss. You need a trading plan for that. I'm 5 months new with a full-time job, and today's 64. Oh, congratulations. I'm glad that you're actually trying to learn this at this age, Lady T. A lot of people don't think that they can, but I commend you for it. Could you please explain the concept of spread more clearly? So spread is the difference between broker's price and the market price, or the ask price or the bid price. So the spread can widen depending on what time of day the market is in. So usually you'll see a wider spread during the beginning of a new trading day, which is 5 p.m. Eastern, which is the start of Asian session. So be very, very wary with spreads, because if they're too wide, they can knock your stop loss, or they can knock your stop loss, and they can also knock your take profit as well in your direction. So your spread should not be no more than 2 or 3 pips at a time on a normal volatile trading hour. But after 5 p.m. they like 10 times the spread. Okay. I'm having issues when I try to put in trade signals that has multiple take profits. I'm supposed to use the same entry price and stop loss for each TP and just change the take profit for each, right? Yes, Paul, that is one way you can do it. You can also just leave the TPs open and take partial profits at TP. I explained that a little bit more in the signals chat, but yeah, that's pretty much what you would do. How far back do you go to look for the 3 bounces? As far as you can. It really all depends too on the time frame that you're on, Catherine. So if you're on higher time frames, you'll see them a lot quicker. But when you're on lower time frames, you might have to scroll back a bit to find them. Is it from left to right to look for? It's from, this is my right side, from right to left, actually. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. Actually, it doesn't matter. So you can look from here to here, or you can look from here to here, as long as they are connecting. Someone type in the support or the PA that Josh said in chat for me. I missed some of it. Lorita, did you get that about the support and resistance behavior and the bullish bearish behavior? How do you place a trade in TradingView? You need to have a broker connected to your TradingView. We don't place trades on TradingView. We place trades on MetaTrader 4. We use TradingView to analyze our charts to be able to get the setup to place a trade. How can we be sure that a breakout is valid or fake out? This is an intermediate, guys. Definitely look back at my confirmed breakout and confirmed fake out videos in intermediate one. I go pretty in depth in there. I've heard a lot about feminines or something like that. Fibonacci, is that what you're talking about? C. DeLeon 87. Are you talking about Fibonacci? I'll get back to your question. How do you calculate pips? So a good thing about TradingView is you don't have to do it in your head. You can literally use a ruler, and it tells you your pips. So if you use this ruler right here, let's say you want to know the pips from here to here. This number right here is the amount of pips, 47 pips right here. Now, if you want to learn how to do them on your head, I can go through it for you if you like. Ultimate cap. Sure. So right here on the left side, there's a ruler icon. If you click on it, then go to your chart, find any spot. Let's say you want to know the distance, the amount of pips from here to here. You're gonna click once, drag it up, then click again to release, and it will show you the data right here, 56 pips. And you can do it to the downside as well. So from here to here, obviously that's a sell or a down. So it's going to be in negative, but that's the amount of pips from here to here, 53. How do we know that we have a strong support and resistance? If it's more than three touches, it's very strong support and resistance. Most likely going to be respected later on. All right. How far back do we need to go back to analyze the pair? Like if we want to know what the current trend is, does that make sense? It depends on, it would depend on your trading style, to be honest. So if you're a scalper, you're gonna be looking at the trends on a lower time frame. If you are a intraday trader, you're gonna be looking at more higher time frames. So depending on those time frames, what they show you, that's how you determine how far back to go. So for example, I'm on the 15-minute chart. I already know this is a bearish market, right? I don't have to go anymore left up until I see more structures breaking, and I can figure out what areas it most likely wants to go to. And I look to the left and I mark those out. So literally this page right here shows me all I need to know. So hopefully that makes sense, Camise. Let me know. Support and resistance can be used for multiple things. Yeah, it can be, oh, okay. Yeah, it can be used for your take profit. It can be used for your stop loss. It can be used for entry points. So it's very important that you know how to identify support and resistance. So if I put a 5 on long or short, that's a 1 to 5, which doesn't have anything to do with the position size. What do you mean, Lady T? Can you put how to get the calculators on ENN, please? I put the link in the chat, Daniel Cameron. I'll post it one more time for you to copy and paste it into your notes. I appreciate you, Genevieve. Thank you for that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting some kind of I'm like wheezing for some reason. I don't know why. So, but I'm fine. I'm still having difficulty on how to read MT4 to place a trade. Kanice, have you gone through the MT4 tutorials in Basics 1? And have you gone through the signals tutorial? In order to take the signals from the group, wouldn't we need to know the stop loss and TP4 demo counts? Yeah, we give you the stop loss and take profits on them, on the signals, Roberta. Yeah, I've seen that pin video, but I guess it is knowing where to put the numbers because sometimes the numbers don't match when I try to do it. I'm not sure what you mean, Kanice. You plug the same numbers that's on the signals chat that you're trying to place the signals on. You place it right on MT4. You type it in. So zones and key levels for me are what support, where price was one support and then became resistance, or resistance then became support. So you know how it broke out here? This became support now, right? This was once resistance, came back down, now it became support until it broke through and became resistance again here. What time frame is best to mark up for entry if you're a day trader? What's your style of trading, Amber? Is it a scalper, intraday trader, or a swing trader? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. I'm not sure why you posted that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? Did you say cancel or GTC? GTC is good till canceled. That's what it stands for. GBP USD is still gray for quite a while. What causes that? That has to be your broker, Daniel. I'm not sure why your GBP USD is gray. It should be active right now. I went through spread already. I went through spread. You're welcome. Please repeat your explanation of the expiration date field MT4 that no. The expiration date should be good till canceled or GTC. There should be no expiration date on that. Welcome to your first study hall. Why do some signals say buy limit and others say buy stop? So there are different traders, different educators calling out signals. So me personally, I use buy stops and sell stops. And Sean Burno, which is another educator, he uses buy limits and sell limits. So you kind of have to just know which ones you want to take. How to compare two or more pairs. If you have that feature, if you have I think if you have the pro version of TradingView, which is a monthly cost, you can compare two charts like this by pressing this icon here. It says select layout, and then it'll give you all the layouts. Ultimate Cat, not sure what you're saying. Yes, please, too. Do you look for strong rejections for both support and resistance? And you mark the measure levels. Yes, yes, amen. All right. You guys are answering. You guys are answering my questions in the question and answer. You should when I ask a question to you directly, just type it in the chat, not in the Q&A, because then I'm going through all the Q&As and I'm thinking it's a question, but it's not. It's just a response to what I said earlier, and then I forget what I said, what I asked. All right, Kanice, you went through intermediate 2. Are you sure you went through intermediate 2? Have you gone through the action steps? Have you done homework that are stated in the videos? Okay, so type the number as we see it, not where price is currently at by the time we try to take that. Exactly. So some of the signals are going to say market execution buy, market execution sell, right? So the entry price that's on that signal is just the price that it was called at, right? It's the entry price is going to be different if you use a market execution buy or market execution sell. Now, if you use buy stops, sell limits, or buy limits, it's a specific price that you need to get into with that order because it's a pending order. It's an order that's not going to be instantly executed. It's an order that's going to wait for price to get there in order to activate first. All right. Intraday. Okay, I remember that question. So you want to typically start for intraday trader. You want to start from the daily, move down to the H4, then H1, and then find your entries on 15-minute. Right. And as you're going down, you want to look for support and resistance. You want to look for trend. You want to look for market structure. Right. S&P says thank you, appreciate you. Risk percentage on long and short tool comes from what calculation? I know it has to do with how much I risk on my account, but when I change the number, it doesn't seem to change anything. I don't worry on the long position tools. I don't worry about the risk percentage on there. I think that's what you're talking about. You're talking about risk to reward ratio. Is that what you're talking about, or are you talking about this percentage right here, the ADT? The first one you double click. This, don't worry about that. This and this is irrelevant. This risk and this account size thing is irrelevant. What matters is your entry price, your ticks, which this is the amount of pips. So this is 63 pips. All right, this is 63 pips. They put it in 3 digits because ticks is a pipette, and this is your price. This is what you enter into your MT4 when you find out, when you adjust your long position and short position tools. So hopefully that makes sense. DBT. When is it safe to go to sleep on a trade? When you have it in break even. When you have your stop loss at break even, that's when it's safe to go to sleep on a trade. Yeah, you don't need that, Lady T. You don't need that. You're still having problems on entering the trade. Any advice? Camille, have you looked through the signals tutorial? So what problems are you having with entering the trade? Can you please type it in the chat? Joel, I'm gonna go ahead and explain the difference between buy and sell limits and buy and sell stops in a minute. Explain what you mean when TP is at break even. When one of the signals hit take profit, you want to move your stop loss to wherever your entry price is. So on MC4, you can see where you entered at. You want to put that number in your stop loss, maybe a pip or two above or below, depending on if you're a buyer or sell. So that way you can cover commissions. So if price were to come back down to where your entry price is, it knocks you out the trade in 0. And that's why we also say to take partial profits at TP1, because if it wants to go back to break even, you already took profits. Is there a checklist on how to study your pair? How to study a pair. First of all, you need to know what pair you're studying. And it's literally just back testing. So back testing is going to be in terms of what patterns what patterns that particular pair, um, what patterns that particular pair shows most frequently. Um, you know, what time frames, what times it's most volatile, things like that. All right, cool. How do you take partial profit and keep the trade running? Steven, I actually showed that on in the signals chat, in the signals tutorial. There's a specific window that you need to go to on your MT4. So you need to go to the close window on MT4 when you're about to take profits, right? And then you can adjust your lot size at the top. So if you have a lot size bigger than a 0.01, you could take you can adjust the lot size down to take profits and leave the rest of the lot size positions open. All right. So let me go into what buy stops and sell stops and buy limits and sell limits are for Joel. I went over this last week, but um, it is also in basics, I believe, one. But I'll go ahead and review for you guys for the next 5 minutes. I am going to cut this study hall short a bit. Um, so right after this, I'm going to hop off. Hopefully, I've got all your questions answered. So buy stops, sell stops, buy limits, sell limits. So buy stops are when make pretend these lines are your entries. This is where price This is where you placed your trade, your pending order. Okay. For limit orders and stop orders, these are pending orders, meaning that they will not be open trades or active trades until they are the price that you set on these orders are met in the market. Okay. So now buy stops and sell stops have different stop orders, and limit orders have different losing my train of thought. They have different uses. Okay. So typically with a stop order, whether it be a buy or sell, you want price to continue in the direction of that order. So if it's a buy, you want it to continue up after it's been activated at the price that you set. Um, Opposite goes for a sell stop. You want price to keep going down after it's set, after the price that you set has been activated in a sell, right? So you can leave these pending orders on your screen for however long you want, right? That's why I'm saying to put good till canceled, because you can leave it there forever if you wanted to. But when they do activate, they activate in a buy, they activate in a sell when these prices are met in the market. Okay. Now, for limit orders, they are so for a buy limit, you're waiting for price to fall to a particular place. Um, you want the market to fall to a particular price, and after it activates your trade, and let's say in a buy, it goes up, right? And for a sell limit, you want it to go from the top, going to the top, then reaching your entry price, and then rejecting, basically putting you in profit on the sell, but activating your sell right up here at the top, and activating your buy here at the bottom. Now, the buy stops and sell stops are good for more continuation trades. Buy limits and sell limits are good for more reversal trades. So, but I like using buy stops and sell stops because I like to continue on with the trend. So if I see a downtrend, I want to continue to go down. So I'm gonna place sell stops in that direction. And if it's an uptrend, I want to place buy stops in that direction. Okay. So Joel, hopefully that answered your question about buy limits, sell limits, buy stops, sell stops. If it's not clear, let me know before we hop off here. All right, awesome. Well, appreciate you guys for hopping on the beginner study hall with me. If you have any questions that pop up, feel free to tag me in the official Epic Trade House chat by tagging my name, Josh Living Life with no G. All right, I'm gonna put it here up in the screen for y'all. There we go. That is my handle for Telegram. So if you tag me and you put the message with that tag, I'll be sure to get back to you and answer you in the Epic Trade House chat. All right. You guys have a great night on purpose. And I'll see you on the next one.